Hello and welcome. It's the Curious Pigeon here, and today we are going back in time to 2009 at Alton Towers, looking at Mutiny Bay, so I hope you enjoy. Now, I thought I'd just focus very quickly on the First Aid Centre, which I never realised was at the park, and it is still in this same location. It's just tucked away behind the left side of Tower Street at the end. And here we have the Skyride entrance with the old theming and colouring, and it was closed this day. What a surprise. The yellow and red kind of blocks of colour reminds me of the colouring of Toyland Tours for some reason. Just those sort of bright, slightly pastel blocks of colour. And you've got the old logo of the Skyride there, which reminds me a bit of Sir Algernon's travels, relating to the hotel, of course. We've got the entrance of Mutiny Bay and this really nice sort of photo opportunity, which you can use both sides, look like you're in jail. And then here you can see the left side of Mutiny Bay. Now, what really surprised me about looking back at Mutiny Bay and in 2024 is just how many game stalls, arcade areas and claw grabber machines there are. So I couldn't work out what this game actually was for Prove Yourself as a Pirate. What was this? Can anyone enlighten me? Because, you're not hooking a duck. I couldn't see anything that you could throw. I've got no idea. It looks like sandwich boards with different symbols on it, and then there's boxes in front. But yeah, did not know what this game was, but you could win SpongeBob. I guess he's kind of on theme because he's related to the sea. What do we reckon? I do like the fact that some of these stalls, as you'll see here, have got themed gifts. So here you could knock down cans and other things off the back shelf, and you could win pirate-themed dogs and also randomly a couple of Scooby-Doos, and then also this skull and crossbone merchandise. So you've got hoodie wearing bears and some nice little cushions. So yes, you could knock down the cans on the right, or bottles or something, and on the left knock some other things down. I'm not quite sure what they were. And then here you've got Heave Ho. I'd love to go on Heave Ho one day. Haven't been on it yet. And I really love the painted waves on the side. They actually look pretty realistic and quite effective. But yeah, this does look like a fun little ride. And in one of my behind the scenes videos, check it out if you haven't already, there is this long blue shape in a back service yard area. And I couldn't work out what it was. And someone commented saying it looks like the base for Heave Ho. And I think they're right. So here we have a stall where I believe you just throw a basketball and you can win these really funky sharks. At first I wasn't sure if the cannons at the front were theming or if you used them in the ride, but I do think they were just decorational. Correct me if I'm wrong though. But yes, I do love the theming of all of these stands as well. Here you have got a climb the ladder and ring the bell called Captain's Challenge. Now you could win these gigantic parrots. Now, one of the things that I don't understand is some of the prizes in the theme parks of all places are absolutely huge. And then if you win it in the earlier part of the day, you've got to struggle with it all around the rest of the park. Now for this, it looks like barrels on the inside. Again, couldn't work out what this game actually was, but you could win these gigantic dragons. Here you have got panning for gold. Now, I really was quite impressed with the theming of this. I mean, pirate theming itself is quite an easy theme, I guess, to maintain because it doesn't matter if the wood gets broken or chipped or if the paint gets disheveled. It doesn't matter because it adds to the theming. But just look at the back here. I'm sure it was housing something a lot more technical, but really impressed, really impressed. And even this barrier fencing on the left hand side has shading around the sort of cannonball holes to make it look even more effective. But yeah, really impressed with how this area looks. And I think it looks like there's a bear or something at the top there. And obviously we couldn't leave Marauder's Mayhem out. This is essentially a glorified teacups ride, but I do really like it. And I also like how here you have got cannonballs stuck and wedged into the fencing. It does make it look, I was going to say realistic, that's not quite what I mean, but much more on theme, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And here is just a few of the many claw grabbing machines, not just around Mutiny Bay, and there are a lot there, but also around the whole park. It is a bit crazy. Now, this is one of a few arcades in the park, and you can see they had a Deal or No Deal game. And also there were touring cars, you know, where you just sit in the funky car seat and you just drive around a track. I feel like it's not a proper arcade if it hasn't got one of them. Now, I wanted to focus on this because sadly I can't look more head on at the poster here, but this is actually a poster for 13. Now, in my Back in Time video where I look at Tower Street and the entrance plaza, you can see a much better view of this poster. But it's pretty cool that you can see that there. And here we have a classic hooker duck. Who doesn't love a hooker duck stall? And some of the prizes are ducks. Now, these were absolutely massive, but I do love that they're sailors and pirates. But why are gigantic fairground prizes like this? Why do they always look not very good? I feel like the bigger they get, the lower down the quality goes. Here we've got Eastern Express, we've got the entrance here, and there was a little sort of takeaway section of this as well. We have got the Cheeky Pirate just to the right hand side, and on the far right, even more SpongeBob SquarePants. And then if we have a little look around here, even more claw grabber machines. I'd love to know how much they actually make from all the claw grabbers. But again, not all the prizes are on theme to Mutiny Bay, but I don't think it matters so much. You've got variety. Now, we're coming into the courtyard here, and I do love looking at the sort of bricked up and boarded up windows and doors. It really makes you wonder what it really looked like when it was fully in use back in the day. We've got the huge covered seating area here, which is great to see because we need it in the UK. And then here we've got all the little windows and doors, and some of these almost look like shop type windows. Whether they were once upon a time, I'll never know. And in the corner, we have the barbecue food stall where you could get, let's have a look. For $6.95, you could get a cheese and bacon burger, mushroom and halloumi for $6.95 as well, $7.95 for a cheese and bacon double burger, half a fresh roast chicken for $7.95, and again the same price for a steak sandwich with onion relish or a giant Cumberland sausage. $6.45 for your peri-peri chicken salad, and your sides, so your lattice fries, onion rings and corn on the cob were all below, I think they were £1.60 or £1.80 for the fries, so all below £2. So compared to now, what do we think of those prices for 2009? Do we think they were good value? Here we've got this stage for the little pirate show, something I never actually saw, but again, really great theming. I'm really, really impressed with the Mutiny Bay theming, and I think even in this day and age, I don't spend a lot of time in Mutiny Bay, admittedly. I tend to just go to Wickerman and kind of quickly wander through, but it does look pretty good. Now we have the big banner here for Battle Galleons, and as you'll see in a moment, here it is. Now I went the other day and it was very rainy and it wasn't open, but they still had the shark on the left going round and around. So I did appreciate that they still had him working away. Again, a really nicely themed ride. Not one I've ever done because to me personally, it's not the most thrilling or exciting, and I'd rather use my time to queue up and go on something else, but it is good that they have another option there for people. We've got a sales and information stand. I think this is just drinks and snacks now, but this actually used to be a little train station, I think, for the train that used to go through Alton Towers. There's loads of little old sort of remnants where you can see the route of the train as well. There's a couple of really good YouTube videos if you search for the Alton Towers train. I can't remember the user's name, but really, really interesting. And maybe one day they'll bring a train back. A land train would be really good. And it would have been good in lieu of the Sky Ride this season. And here we have an old 2009 map here. Now, what's crazy is the fact that there would have been the Flume on here, but there wouldn't have been any Smiler. There would have been no 13. It's just mad and maybe the Submission would have been on here and Enterprise, but it is just mad to think how different the park is from 15 years ago to now. We've got Pirates pasties and we've got hot dogs. No idea why both signs are so different. I much prefer the pasty sign though. But again, a couple of nice little food stalls, and we've got the Courtyard Tavern, which is now the Welcome Inn to coincide with what today is the ride opposite, the Wicker Man. But yeah, anyone been in there? I haven't. And is the food any good that they do? Now over here, in 2024, this is just, I believe it's just a refill station, but back in the day, this used to be the old time costume photography. You can just see the costumes there. I feel like you get these at most seaside resorts where you have those sepia photos and you're all dressed up. Here we have the target trial. I've zoomed in on this one so much. One, so you can see how gigantic the bears were, but also so you could see the game mechanisms. Now, this was one of those where you had to move along the wire and you weren't allowed to touch it. And if you did, it made an noise and then you were out basically. But these look a little bit Nemesis monster-esque, these octopus with the starfish on top. And you can see that black dot on the top is the light that would go off if you touch the wire. But yeah, I wonder how many people actually walked around with the giant I love you bears. Here we've got plug a porthole, basically throw a ball into the porthole, and if you win you get something Super Mario themed. And a little tribute to an old BT phone box. Why not? I really like this Mutiny Bay sign. Again, another great photo opportunity. And you can see the donuts behind. I love fresh, like fairground donuts. Now, this little building really fascinated me. How cute is that? One, is it still there? And two, does it look like this now? Three, if it is still there, what is it used for? And here we have the view the other side of Eastern Express, and you can see you could get some kebab and tikka wraps from the to-go section there. And I wanted to focus up here on the show building for the aquarium for Sharkbait Reef because it's barely noticeable. I mean, it is now, but if you were just walking past, I certainly wouldn't pay any attention to this show building because it's just themed in so well. You know, it's got that sort of boarding. It looks great. Here's the side sign for Sharkbait Reef. Now, one question I have about Sharkbait Reef with this theming, because it looks incredible, and again, look how hidden the show building is from this angle. But do you think the theming here was dictated more by the park and the powers that be? Or do you think it was Sea Life that said do you know what I mean? I wonder which side, Sea Life or Alton Towers / Alton Towers powers that be wanted this theming. It looks incredible though, and it still looks just as good today. Now here we have the Mutiny Bay shop, and one thing you notice with this part is just how many refill cups are stuck on those stands. Now back in 2009 they used to be £6 each with free refills all day, I think. You could get bargain booty gifts for £1. Very nice. I wonder if it was a pencil or something. And what I want to know is, can anyone tell me what they would put on these screens? Because I've seen a couple of these back in the old days of 2009 around the park. And obviously I can't see what it says in the photographs like this. But does anyone know what they'd have there? Here you can just see the sign for Katanga Canyon at the back. So we're coming to the edge of Mutiny Bay. And it's annoying how hidden that is. But here we have one of those little pay to navigate the little boat things. What would you call it? But anyway, you pay a small amount of money. I don't know if it was £1. It probably was £1. And you've got just a little course there and you can try and navigate your little boat around all those obstacles. Here we have the Pirate Galley, which basically contains Burger King. Who misses Burger King and KFC? I remember having KFC popcorn chicken once when I went to Alton Towers as a kid. And here we've got the Flume. I never went on the Flume, but I am as obsessed with the ride as if I had. I was going to go on the Flume, and then my auntie said we couldn't wait the wait time. We didn't have enough time, so I never got on it. And then I didn't go to the park for years, and by that point, it was long gone. Anyway, my own personal history lesson aside, how different does this look to the Wicker Man? It's crazy. It literally blows my mind to think that this whole like little lake was here. And I definitely think that the park is missing a water ride. I mean, we've got, what have we got? We've got Battle Galleons and we've got the Rapids where you get a couple of drips on you. I went on the Rapids the other day with 6 people, including myself. And I thought, oh, I've only gone on it really in a smaller group before. Maybe a larger group, you'll get more wet with more weight. But no. look at that drop of the Flume. And just look, you've got the tap on the top. Apparently there were bubbles on the large bubbles on the inside of the roof of this building. I'm gutted I never got to go on it. Anyway, here you've got the photo collection point. And what do we think of the pricing? Save £8 for photos for 20 quid. What do we think? Is that good value? I know nowadays you can get a digital photo pass for unlimited photos and videos for 25 quid. But even so, you might only want to buy a couple. And here you've got the trough, which really does look quite dirty. How often did they clean it? And here you can see, I think I remember this part very hazily in my memory, people going up into the trees in a bath. And here we have the drying pods. How incredible do these look? I don't know why only one has the theming, but I just love that there is a little bar of imperial leather soap, perfectly branded and shaped on one side, and a little duck on the other. I just think that's perfect, and the red as well. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ah, rest in peace, the Flume. Now, we have the Mexican Cantina over here, and you can't quite see the logo. Here you go. You can see the old El Paso logo. I don't know why I'm showing you the back of the restaurant, but here you are. So this was in conjunction with Old El Paso, and I believe you could get sort of tacos, maybe nachos, and looks like burritos on the sign there as well. But yeah, so that's it. That was the little look around Mutiny Bay. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it was a bit stop-start and a bit quick and a bit whistle-stop, but there was quite a lot of different things to have a look at. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will be back again soon with another video. And I'll see you next time.